He froze at the doorway, coffee cup trembling in his hand. On the screen in front of her, rows of complex algorithms scrolled like dancing light. She didn't even notice him. Her fingers moved too fast, her eyes locked on the code. He blinked. It couldn't be. His maid, the woman who mopped floors and cleaned conference rooms, was solving a problem that his top engineers had failed to crack for 6 months. Lucas Reed wasn't a man easily shocked. At 38, he was already the youngest CEO of Reed Dynamics, a multi-billion-dollar tech empire. Known for his no-nonsense leadership, ruthless efficiency, and unmatched intellect, Lucas had built his company from a 2-person startup in his garage into one of the world's top AI firms. But for 6 months, there had been a problem, a bug deep within their flagship AI architecture. It wasn't just a small glitch, it was a $200 million failure waiting to happen. Every hour the system stayed broken, the company lost millions in potential contracts. The entire board was breathing down his neck. The brightest engineers in Silicon Valley had flown in to help. None could solve it. Until tonight. Until she did. Her name was Maya Torres. To everyone in the company, she was invisible. The quiet maid who came in after hours, pushing her cart through empty hallways, wiping fingerprints from glass tables, humming softly to herself. She never complained, never lingered, never drew attention. Lucas had barely spoken to her beyond the occasional good evening. But tonight, as he returned late to fetch a file from his office, he saw her sitting at one of the engineers' desks, the glow of the monitor reflecting in her eyes. And what she was doing wasn't cleaning. "Stop," Lucas said, his voice sharper than he intended. Maya jumped, nearly falling off the chair. Her face went pale. I'm sorry, sir, I was just..." "What is that on the screen?" he demanded, stepping closer. "It's just something I noticed," she stammered, her hands trembling on the keyboard. "The algorithm in the neural mapping, there's a recursive loop. It's not closing properly because of the variable dependency. I thought maybe..." Lucas leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "You thought maybe you could fix a multi-million-dollar algorithm that my entire team of PhDs couldn't solve?" She shrank back, embarrassed. "I'm sorry, sir, I shouldn't have touched it. I'll leave." "Wait." He stared at the screen again. Her explanation played back in his mind. The variable dependency, the recursive loop. He sat down beside her. "Show me." Maya hesitated. "Sir, I really shouldn't." "Show me." Her fingers trembled as she began typing again. Within minutes, she restructured the code, rewriting a core logic path that had stumped his engineers for months. Lucas watched in stunned silence as the system began compiling, error-free. Then the line of code turned green. Problem solved. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the servers. Lucas exhaled slowly. "You just saved this company $200 million. Maya's eyes widened. I did." He turned to her. "Who are you?" Over the next few days, Lucas couldn't get her out of his mind. He called HR and asked for her file. It was thin, just a single page. Age 26, education none listed, employment janitorial staff part-time. Nothing else, no degrees, no references, no hint that she could do what she had done that night. So he called her in. When Maya walked into his office, she looked nervous, clutching her cleaning gloves like a shield. "Sit," Lucas said gently. "I'm not firing you." She relaxed slightly, though her eyes stayed wary. "I want to understand something," he said. "How did you know how to fix that code?" She looked down. "I used to study computer science, back in Mexico, but my family couldn't afford to keep me in school. When we moved here, I couldn't get my credentials transferred. I took whatever job I could to help my parents." Lucas felt something twist inside him. "You never told anyone." She shook her head. Who would believe a maid could code? That night, Lucas sat alone in his office long after she left. He thought about all the meetings, all the resumes, all the Ivy League degrees he'd interviewed, and how she, the quiet woman cleaning his floors, had been the real genius among them. He made a decision. The next morning, he called an emergency staff meeting. When everyone had gathered, engineers, executives, managers, Lucas stood before them and said, "The $200 million algorithm bug has been fixed." Cheers erupted, people clapped. But then he raised his hand. "It wasn't any of you." Confusion spread. "It was Maya Torres," he said, pointing toward the back of the room. Maya, holding a mop, froze in place. Every head turned. The silence was deafening. Lucas smiled. From now on, she's no longer our janitor. She's joining the AI division, effective immediately. Gasps filled the room. A few people looked outraged, others stunned. And Maya, tears filled her eyes. Sir, I don't know what to say. Lucas walked over and put a hand on her shoulder. Say yes. Her rise within the company became the stuff of legend. At first, people doubted her. Some whispered behind her back, some even tried to sabotage her work. But every time someone underestimated her, she proved them wrong. Her designs were sharper, her logic cleaner, her vision bolder. Within a year, she led her own team. Within 2, she became head of AI research. And when Reed Dynamics launched its breakthrough product, the one that revolutionized medical AI diagnostics, it was Maya's architecture that made it possible. At the launch ceremony, as the crowd applauded, Lucas turned to her and said quietly, "You changed this company forever." Maya smiled. "No, sir, you did, because you believed in me." But success didn't come easy. There were nights she cried from exhaustion, days when critics called her a fraud. She fought language barriers, self-doubt, and prejudice. Some investors didn't want a woman from the janitorial staff representing the company's future. Yet, through every challenge, she kept reminding herself of that night, the moment she'd been caught doing something she loved when no one was watching. That was the moment she realized, your circumstances don't define your worth, your courage does. Years later, when Lucas stepped down as CEO, the board unanimously voted for his successor. It wasn't a man from Wall Street. It wasn't a Silicon Valley billionaire. It was Maya Torres, the former maid who had once solved a $200 million problem. As she took the stage to deliver her first speech as CEO, she looked out at the faces before her, some old, some new, many still doubting. She smiled. "I started here with nothing," she began. "No fancy degree, no connections, just curiosity and a dream I refused to let die. So to anyone who feels invisible, who's cleaning floors while dreaming of something greater, remember this, someone out there needs the magic only you can bring." The room erupted in applause. Lucas, watching from the front row, felt tears blur his vision. That night, the company posted her story online. Within days, it went viral, the maid who became a CEO. And people all over the world began sharing their own stories. The coder who worked as a waiter, the nurse who became an inventor, the single mother who built a startup from her kitchen table. Maya's story became more than inspiration, it became a movement. Moral of the story: never underestimate the quiet ones. Talent can come from anywhere, and dreams don't die just because life gets hard. Sometimes, all it takes is one person believing in another to change everything.